Leslie, you were mentioning a lot about sort of the difficulty of making things pencil out, and also talked about the importance of creative projects where you have a public partner. And I think there's a lot of discussion right now around cities, for example, incentivizing office building conversions, providing certain tax incentives to turn that into residential. You've mentioned the land bank. There are a lot of different ways in which the public sector could be more supportive or a better partner on building the housing that we need. And I wondered if you either of you had any thoughts on kind of what kind of interesting public-private partnerships could help spur more housing in the city?
I mean, the first that comes to mind is that there's affordable money made available, that there is, whether it's on the state level, whether it's federal level, that there is money available at interest rates that make sense for these projects. I guess I'm trying to think of what else besides access to capital, because that's a great deal of it. I think working together with the programs to see if they can mirror or work with each other so that you can leverage them better. Because the capital stacks that we work on, it's just not debt and equity. In a traditional city project, that's what the capital stack looks like. Mine's about 10 layers deep, grants, loans, new markets, the whole gamut, right? If you can get all of those things to work better together. Like we're trying to marry HUD 221 D4 with CPACE, and they don't work together, right? But I could leverage that if it did. I could do a bigger project. We could scale. We could do more. So I do think that all of these programs need to get together and figure that part out of it as well. I think those are the two main things for me.
Oh, we got to recognize that we have an office problem, right? It's not a Philadelphia issue. It's a urban cities problem. I think we've got anywhere between 48 to 50 million square feet of office. That's probably about 22 to 25%, depending on who you ask, that are vacant. And that number is going to jump over the next coming 2 years, right? Between receiverships and between people who are, have loans that are going to convert from 4% to 8%, they're done, right? So we got to recognize that there's an issue there. And that issue is a big issue for the city, because we're talking about an assessments issue. We're talking about reassessing what the values of office is. We're talking about the income that used to come from these office buildings, the economic impact that they used to generate for the workers that come into these cities. We have enough office space to accept 30,000 employees. It's about 350 square feet per employee. So when you have about 10 million square feet that are empty, that's about 30,000 employees that we need to attract if we are going to, try to maintain a sane office kind of environment. Not every building is going to be converted, right? I'm hearing numbers between 10 to 20% to 30% of the office that's going to be vacant is convertible based on, their floor plates, their location, the shape of the building, and all that. So that's going to be another big challenge that the Cherelle administration has inherited, which is, she's going to be faced with an issue that she's going to have to hopefully work with state and get some policies out there that encourages business to come into. So it's kind of like a full circle. Tax reform that needs to happen, in addition to policies that encourage housing and these conversions, and giving some tax incentives for people to acquire these bad loans or loans that have gone bad and convert them to housing with an affordability component. So that's another source.